The package reviewer is someone I had a bone to pick with for like a year. Last year one made a shit post about his hypocrisy. How he would shit on someone for drawing fetish art out of a 10-year-old character. But is cool with someone whose whole channel is go animate porn out of characters like Johnny Test and Caillou. I used to casually watch his content, but I have looked back and realized that guy's content is cancer and spawned even more cancerous clones like Colonel Productions and possibly Myruna. The packaged reviewer makes deviant trance and they range from mediocre to fucking train wrecks. The first video on the chopping block is the oldest video we'll be talking about, his rant on some Miggs kid. Once you see the title and you know Miggs was 14 years old at the time, the issue is self-explanatory. Then again, considering the low intelligence of his audience, I guess I'll have to explain. You cannot be a pedophile below the age of 16.
Which leads to my next part, his pedophile behavior. He seems to have this strange obsession over the character Tina from the Minions movie. He ships his own persona with her, which makes him look like a pedophile. Here is a piece of art which also proves how much of a pedo he is. Dude, Tina is 11 years old, and having a sexual obsession over an underage character makes you a pedophile.
Now, I know some of you will argue that the video is old as fuck. It came out in 2017. And I know some of you will argue that the little old news part of the title means he disavows this video. And to that, I have a couple of rebuttals. One, notice how he says this video is old news. That's not saying the video is bad. That's saying the video is outdated. No package. The video sucked bad ended. Sucks now. This is made worse because package has actually designed videos. So let me get this straight. A mediocre rant on a bandwagon is outright bad. But a video where a kid is falsely accused of being a fucking pedophile is simply outdated. Fucking brilliant. Secondly, even had he said the video was outright bad, simply putting designed on your title doesn't do shit. Package falsely accused someone and him merely saying the video sucks can mean anything. Why does your video suck package? Bad production value? Bad argumentation? The fact that you calling a kid a pedophile can potentially ruin their life? Thirdly, his fans still allow Miggs to this day. We'll get to that later. And fourthly, this is merely one example of his content being trash.
Nah. Another example is one of his last rants. His rant on Tana Sweet. This video is heavily flawed and I could make an entire video on it, but the main issue I have with it is his part about this freak's fetish art. Something I want you to keep in mind is that this degenerate fuck package is talking about is a full-grown adult and was 25 when package made this video. You'll see why I told you to keep that in mind later.
And I blame them, but Tana's fetish art is without a doubt concerning to say the least. From continuing the legacy of the almighty Death Cat Scratch with blow tunes, to continuing to contribute to this cult of deviance besmirching the Loud House characters, which was rightfully taken down back in late 2019, mind you. And she thinks it's unjustified since she apparently contributed to nothing sexual in there. By deviant and denial, it has the word fetish in the group name. Does marking some of your work as mature not prove it also? And to make matters worse, she fetishized the live-action variants of Loud House characters. To push the boundaries even further to the edge, she made edits out of screenshots from the live-action show, essentially making fetish pics out of the actors. Granted, most of it is based off the Willy Wonka movies, but it gets very questionable when you draw it multiple times. Plus, the movie came out during the time where some people most likely didn't find the scenes remotely arousing. She even sends her followers out to report videos that flat out state she's a pedo. Honestly, calling Tana a pedo is a bit of a stretch, but it definitely doesn't help her case when she draws this kind of stuff, especially if you do it over and over again.
The foolishness of that comment is so deep, I can only ascribe it to higher education. You have to have gone to college to say something that stupid.
So a grown-ass adult sexualizing children, both fictional and real, is not a pedophile, you say? Fascinating. Like we're beyond fictional characters, this freak is sexualizing the child actors of some shit Nickelodeon sitcom, and yet Package is so charitable. And I'd get it if he was often charitable in his content, but he isn't. He has called people pedophiles for less than sexualizing real children. Whether those people be literal children or adults.
Just because someone puts an 11-year-old boy in inflationer doesn't mean it's them a pedophile since it's legal. Okay, let me put it this way. If you draw a child in a scenario which you find arousing in any way, that is called pedophilia. Since you seem to be attracted to said child, fictional or not.
So when this one degenerate draws fetish art out of fictional children, it's pedophilia. But when this older freak makes fetish content out of both fictional kids and child actors, it's a stretch to say they're a pedophile. It's even worse because Package is chill with some go-animate freak that dedicates his channel to making sexual content out of kid characters like Caillou, Elmo and Bling Bling, boy. So a guy's whole branding is sexualizing child characters is fine according to Package. He'll subscribe and find his videos humorous. But if he doesn't care too much for someone, them sexualizing children is bad. And if Package full on hates you, then you're a pedophile for sexualizing kids. For fuck's sake, look at Package's conclusion in his Tana Sweet rant.
Look, I understand that people on DeviantArt have the right to draw fetishes, but at least have some standards when drawing that kind of stuff. Otherwise, certain people will paint you as a sickening individual. Tana Sweet just has to realize that not everyone will see her art as something normal. Continuing to draw this kind of stuff will keep having others outside of the Loud House Hug Box look at her in a negative light, which they have every reason to judge her by. It may be a harsh way to look at it, but it's gotta be accepted one way or another. And with that, that's all I have to say about Tana Sweet and the situation around her. Hopefully this should clear some things up about it. Thanks for watching, this is the Package Reviewer, signing off.
This loser is telling a pedophile to essentially think about the optics. Isn't this guy's content fucking incredible? And yet when it's someone he hates, oh now suddenly it's pedophilia. Hell with Pappy, he flat out thinks his content is funny. He is aware of the videos he makes and finds it amusing. This isn't even the only example of his hypocrisy. You know how he has called Migs a pedophile, and also shat on another kid by saying he seemed like a pedophile.
He has a specific fetish for a leg pose, and this is probably the worst thing he has ever posted on DeviantArt as of this video. Ace, no one wants to know that the leg pose Lana is doing gives you a fucking. Not only that this makes you look like a creep, but also a pedophile. He also hates the fact that he gets a bone from it. Ace, there's a little something in life called puberty. You get used to it eventually.
What if I told you he defended his 17-year-old friend flirting with a 13-year-old? Yeah, Packboy made a video calling out someone, and by the 1-minute mark, it becomes about grooming allegations being made toward his friends. Now we aren't given enough context for a lot of these allegations in the video to say one way or the other, so I won't comment on the validity. However, I will comment about the very end. The part where his friend, Josh, is accused of grooming a 13-year-old at 17.
After the whole debacle, Gwunkin called out a few particular people and even exposed Spacey's IRL name out of spite. Gwunkin then decided to join forces with Will G, and even go as far as accusing Josh of pedophilia, which he knows damn well he flirted with him first. Besides, you both are still minors, it's not even remotely pedophilia if nobody's an adult.
So if you're a friend of Pac-Man, he'll excuse whatever you do, even if it goes against his values. Like, remember all the videos he's made calling children pedophiles and never corrected. Yeah, calling those children below the age of 16 pedophiles is cool, but calling a 17-year-old flirting with a 13-year-old a groomer is just too far, man. Also, what kind of excuse is the kid flirted with Josh first? Nigga, he was 17 and the kid was 13. Like we know damn well if someone package did not like was flirting with a 13-year-old like Josh was, he'd be calling this 17-year-old a pedophile. Even if he didn't know the age, package would at least say what I just said to Joshua.